Say, you are my life support. Say it like you mean it. You are my life support. Life support of or pertaining to anything that fosters or sustains life, success, or continued existence as of a person, thing, or nation. There are times when we all need life support. And the reason why, because we go through challenges, we go through changes, we go through things that take the wind out of us.
Yes, yes.
We go through hardship, financial, we go through emotional. In this climate, economic climate, people have lost their jobs. They've lost their home, they lost their cars, they lost their security. Amen. And then many people in this community have lost their children.
Yes, yes.
So we all have faced times where we need support. Yes. Things that will come, amen, even what I don't like about church, but church has made us phony to the point where we don't even know how to ask for help. Because we come in and then we put on our church face and we go, everything's okay, when we know that hell is breaking out in our lives. Right. So we feel the need to shout over it, and we feel the need to smile over it, but on the inside, we need somebody to help us through the moment. Am I the only one? Amen. There's some things that come to challenge us, but they tell us, no, you're okay, take it by faith. But there's been some things in my life, amen, I couldn't take by faith. I had to cry them out, I had to moan them out, I had to talk them out. I needed some help. Amen. Amen. I needed support. Amen. I needed my sisters. I needed the kind word of someone to tell me, I'm going to come out of this alive. Have you ever needed someone to encourage you to this is not going to last always, Dawna. I tell you right now, this is only a moment of time. You're going to come through this. We need somebody to help us through those moments. Amen. It has taught us to be quiet. I don't know about you, but I have a family that has been so secretive. They don't talk about anything. So we've learned to shut up even when we're hurting. But that's the time where we need to open our mouth and say, I need you to help me right now. Because if you don't help me, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose my mind. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I'm emotionally unstable. Yeah, it happens to church people. It happens right here. We need help.
Yes, it does.
Poor Naomi had lost her husband, and she lost her 2 sons 10 years later. She lost her support, and she lost her children. Right after, it was tragic, everything happening at one time. They had left the land of Bethlehem, Judah, because there was a famine going on, and her husband moved her to Moab, which was a desperate move because they didn't even like the Moab nation. They didn't get along. They didn't see eye to eye, because when they were getting ready to cross into the promised land, Moab was stopping them from coming into the promised land. So they were already enemies.
Right.
So she was in a place, amen, that was unfamiliar, that her husband left her there, and she died, and now everything, her support is gone. And the Bible said she survived. And sometimes survive is not living. Survive is just, I'm here, I'm basically going through the motion, I'm just a vegetable, but I'm alive. I'm just here, I'm not alive, but I'm barely making it. She survived. Sometimes we don't want to survive some things. We just want to go somewhere and die. We just want to be left alone. Come on, tell the truth. There's been times we just wanted to leave church, leave folk alone, and just don't even want to come to church anymore because of the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, the shame, and everything you were going through. You just wanted to die. I guess I'm talking to myself. Have you ever been in a place where you didn't want to praise, you didn't want to worship, you didn't want to lift your hands, you didn't even understand why everybody around you was shouting, and you didn't even want to move, you didn't care how the music was going, you didn't care what the sermon was, how the sermon was going, you didn't feel it, you were hurting, caught up in the pain, caught up in everything that was going on around you. So she was left there with her 2 daughter-in-laws that were Moabites. They were never supposed to even come together. Sometimes we find friendship in the most unlikely places. Amen. It is not good for us to sit there and listen to negative things about someone else, because you never know who might support you at the time that you need to be supported. That's why we need to love on one another and get to know people for ourselves, because you might be missing missing out on some life support. She found love and support in the most unlikely place, in the town of an enemy. But during that time, she told her daughter-in-laws, listen, there's nothing else in me. There's no more sons in me. Everything is gone. I'm going to go back to my land. You go back to your people, because you would have a chance at life. My life is over. I'm done with this. Is it. I don't know what's going to happen with me, but you go your way and I'll go to my way. And the Bible said they all cried together, but Orpah found the strength to say, peace out. She found the strength to say, you know what, I love you, mother-in-law, but this is where it ends. I'm going to go on with my life. But the Bible said Ruth clung to her. She did not leave her at the moment of her pain. She stayed with her. And she traveled back. She said, listen, go back, because you have a chance of life. You have a chance to marry again. And you go ahead with your life. But then she looked at her and she said, listen, wherever you go, Naomi, I'm going. Where you live, I live. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Wherever you go, I'm not going to leave you by yourself. I'm here with you. She gave up her own possibility of a future. There's not too many people that would give up everything. They're looking at the fact that they can go on and live their lives, but they choose to go and don't know how they're going to make it. That's a sacrifice. There has been some times in my own personal life, I can figure when me and my husband got married, when we first got married, and we were planning our lives together, when we planned on having a baby, and we were married almost a year and a half, and we decided we wanted children. And when we went to go have children, we had problems having a child. So we went to a specialist, and we spent money, and I'm saying money, I'm talking about money. When we went to the fertility specialist, one of my prescriptions was $7,000. I had another prescription for $3,000. I had another prescription for $1,000. I remember standing in front of the pharmacist one day, and it shocked him so bad, I guess he never seen anything that high. He said, what is this? I said, it's none of your business. Just give me my medicine. Let me go about my way. But let me tell you something. We spent money trying to get what we wanted, our dream. And in the midst of all of this, in the midst of going through all of this, we were not able to conceive. It was the hardest time of my life. I learned how to go to church and still preach, but my heart was aching. I learned how to go to church and still sing, but my heart was heavy. I learned how to go to church and function and put on the happy face in front of everybody else, but when I would get in my car, I would cry. And when I would get to myself, I was wavering. God, I don't know if I believe you for this, because they're telling me there is no way. There is nothing that they can do for me. I don't know if you even want this for me. But I thank God for the sisters that stood in the gap, that kept coming to me and telling me God has a plan for you, kept telling me that God